You know that politicians are really failing their own constituents when those same constituents need to rely on corporations like Disneyland and Disney World to create affordable housing. And that's what's currently transpiring in the great state of Florida, which of course I wish people would stop referring to as a purple state, because it is not a purple state, it is a red state.
Yep.
Let's be clear on that.
Yep.
Now, Disney is planning to donate 80 acres of land in Orlando, Florida, for the project to build affordable housing for its employees, okay? So, and look, this has been a problem all across the country where people cannot afford to live in the same area that their place of work is at, okay? That's certainly true in Los Angeles, in San Francisco, you see it everywhere, right? And obviously we're seeing it in Orlando as well, and so Disney thought, maybe we need to step in because we need workers, and if they can't afford to live here, that's gonna be a problem. The Michaels organization will build, own, and operate the 1,300 unit development meant to ease the housing market for service workers in Metro Orlando. The units will be available to qualified applicants who are Disney employees or members of the public. So everyone.
Yeah, well, I guess there are some other qualifications baked into qualified, but it's like, well, if you're an employee or if you're not an employee.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I'm assuming there are other qualifications.
Yeah. Now, let's get to some more details. The development is about 15 minutes away from Disney World, which is great, banger, love that. The project was announced in April of this year, but Disney just announced their collaboration with the Michaels organization today. So that's why it's getting a little more attention. Now, sadly, the project may be a little more than a you-know-what measuring contest, because there have been other companies, competitors to Disney specifically, that have done something similar earlier, including Universal, which announced its affordable housing plans in March of this year. So, but whatever, I don't even care. If this is the kind of you-know-what measuring contest that corporations got involved in, more of it, please, please, please keep measuring, okay? Because if we have to, like, it's sick that we have to rely on corporations in this case to build affordable housing, but they're not doing it out of the kindness of their own hearts. They're doing it because it's gonna benefit them, and they want people to like get off their backs about, the employees not being paid enough to live in the communities they're working in.
Yeah, I think
maybe you could pay them more. I don't know, but whatever.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Seems like that'd be cheaper in the long run.
But you know what? We do need more affordable housing, because look, think about it this way. More affordable housing, even if only Disney employees can take advantage of that affordable housing, still increases the inventory of housing overall, and that could lower rent possibly in other cases as well. We'll see.
Yeah, no, we obviously need a massive influx. 1,300, that's drop of the bucket nationally, but for that area, for their employees, probably quite a bit. I don't know how many total employees they have. I assume in that area probably still a lot, but this will help. I don't love it though, not only because it signals that, as you said, we can't rely on the state or federal government to do a better job of this, but also I don't like the idea of like corporate towns coming back and stuff like that. And I know that Disney already kind of has a version of that.
Disney is definitely already a corporate town.
Yeah, look, Universal is doing it too. I know that a company like Tesla will move into an area and create like a whole area of its own. I don't love the historic, like the stuff that's happened in examples of this in the past. So we'll see. I mean, it would be possible that they could set up a thing like this, and if there were the right sort of regulations, either state or federal regulations, that it could just be housing. We'll see if that's what ends up happening. Obviously, Florida's governor has had a pretty adversarial relationship with Disney. I don't know how that affects the housing thing potentially. Well, maybe they're doing the right thing. I don't know. I don't love the idea that they would need to get involved in this.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But I just think in this case, corporations have more of a vested interest in building the affordable housing as opposed to our politicians.
Yeah.
Which again is gross. Because I mean, look, but that's the other thing. And I don't mean to blame voters, but I do think that people need to be more disciplined in not getting distracted with non-issues that Republicans try to distract them with, right?
In Florida.
In places like Florida, certainly. What are they doing to make your life better? I get that some voters really get a rise off of making other people's lives miserable. Great, I mean, if you're into that, fine. But can the second part of it at least be, hey, let me ask myself, my preferred candidate or the Republican Party that I love so much, what have they done to make my life better? What have they done to make my financial situation more stable? Or my economic opportunities more plentiful? Like, what have they done? And if the answer is not much, consider your priorities a little bit, reconsider. And by the way, I have a lot of critique for the Democratic Party, which has now also been completely captured by corporate interests. And they engage in their distractions as well. Not all of them, and not to the same extent as Republicans, but I don't see a lot of Democrats really fighting hard to build more affordable housing.
Well, I mean, I guess devil's advocate, at the very least, they did pass the infrastructure bills, which, as we pointed out along the way, that's a lot of it is give out handouts to corporations. Some of it is to build affordable housing, and at the very least, under Democrats, HUD can function. They don't put someone who's literally intended to stop it in charge of HUD. So, but again, I think I would love for more and more Republicans to think seriously about the consequences to their life, based on who's going to be in office. But like when I think about, like I compare you to like a stereotypical, like Biden's a great Democrat sort of person. They have a much higher opinion of how likely it is that good things will happen under Biden. We would say an unrealistically high. But then there's people who can be on the opposite side of you, and I think there's a lot of Republicans that, whether they would admit it consciously or not, they have no belief that anything positive will happen economically for them coming out of any administration. And so if the only thing you can get is screw them trans athletes or something, I think that they're ready to make that bargain.
Jesus Christ. By the way, the whole thing about like, oh, we love people like Trump because they really own the libs and make the libs upset. I don't know. I mean, I don't speak for everyone on the left, broadly speaking, the left, but like I feel so dead inside right now that almost nothing bothers me. So like, I know you guys really want to own me, but like,
you're unownable.
You can't. I'm unownable. Like nothing shocks me. Nothing disturbs me anymore. Like it's all been taken out of my soul. It's gone. Anyway, but I do want to just note that in Florida, much like other states, housing has become increasingly unaffordable, and Ron DeSantis might have something to do with that. Let's watch.
Governor Ron DeSantis has raised millions from the real estate industry, one of his biggest donor groups. Over the past 20 years, the Republican-held legislature has shifted $2.3 billion from the Sadowski Affordable Housing Act Fund, a housing rental assistance program for low-income families, to their other legislative priorities. In April, they raided $100 million from the fund to reward luxury developers.
Of course. Luxury developers, they've really done great things in this country by increasing the homeless population in the United States of America. Yeah, and I guess, I don't know, I would love to have Michael Schor go down to the villages or something, although they're probably doing pretty well, but find some Floridians who are not doing as well and ask them about this. I bet that they would refuse to actually think seriously about it, but they also believe that someday they will eventually live in one of those luxury developments. We know that the way they think about tax rates is based on a fantasy land version of what their own tax rates will someday be. That should be game over for a politician like Ron DeSantis, but it should be. It should be. Well, you would need the press to do its job in actually informing people about what's really transpiring with these politicians, but unfortunately, they don't get a lot of that unless they're watching the Young Turks.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.